Hello everyone. In this section, we are going to discuss about under the spec section, we have something called project is here. Okay. If you go in ArgoCD UI and try to create the new app as well, there is a project name option is there and this is mandatory. Okay. If I drop down, you can see there is a default project is there and other projects is there. The question is what is projects in ArgoCD? Correct. So project is like if I have multiple teams, okay, such as three teams are there and they want to create the applications, different ArgoCD applications. So project will define the scope for them. So project is a logical grouping for the application, grouping for the application. Okay, applications, CRDs, which we are going to create it. So I will be creating the application CRDs. When I want to create the application CRD, I need to mention the project name. So when I want to create the project name, project has that which are the Git URLs we can use it when the moment I select the project name, it populate the Git URL as well because when we create the project, we will be mentioning the which are the Git URL is under the project scope. Project scope, which are the Git URLs, Git repositories, as well as which are the destinations, uh, including the Kubernetes cluster and the namespace are under the project scope. Other than that, what we can do it, we can specify the roles to the project. Under that, we can say that, okay, what our application can do, which kind of resources our application CRD can create it or which they cannot create it. All this thing you can define under the project scope. I'll just show you the project scope here in my uh, settings. I'll just go under settings. Okay, here only you will get the option called projects. I'll just scroll down. The option called project is there. There is a default project is always there. It is recommended that always go and delete this default project because if I click on the default project, the wildcard is there. So everything is allowed here. Everything as a destination is allowed here. So if we are using Argo CD as a CD tool, this is not recommended to use it as well. So as the best practices, security best practices, go and delete this thing or otherwise remove this scope. If I go and show you this thing, here you can see the source repositories which I can use it. It's mentioned here. Okay. All the scope repositories are there which I can use it. Same way the destinations clusters are also mentioned here which I can use it. As well as you can assign the roles. What you can do it, you will be having the actions and all this thing, the application can do it. Okay. So add policy, if I do it, I have all the verbs which is defined here. The application scope is also there and the permissions, all these things you can define it here. Same way, if you have the OIDC connected, like, okay, if you have the OpenID Connect or SSO is there, you can add the group here and that will be applicable to that particular group only. So project is very important part in Argo CD. Okay. There is a application CRD is also there. I'll just want to show you that part as well. Okay. So there is a application CRD is already there. kubectl API hyphen resources grab. Sorry, not application CRD. App project CRD is there, which can you can go and write the YAML. You can define the scope in the form of YAML as well. Okay. So this is app project CRD. Okay. So project can be created using the AKMS section as well, or otherwise you can use the UI dashboard to create a project. And project is very mandatory and this will be defining the scope. So each application, when you are creating it, make sure the project name is properly selected. That will define that, okay, so see here, like I go and create an application here, new app. I'll just give the name Nginx OW. Okay. And the moment I select the project name, automatically the scope will come that, okay, this is the Git URL, I can use it. These are the Git URL is mentioned. These are the destination URL. Okay. So these all things are controlled using the project name. So project name is well defined. And for the when multiple teams are working, it is recommended to use a separate project name because each team has the separate Git repository to maintain it as well as the destination namespace as well. Can I have multiple cluster also? Yes, answer is yes. You can have multiple cluster to map it that thing as well. But the point here is project name, it should not be default. Don't use default because that is not secure as well. And you should, as a best practice, you should go and delete the default project name as well, because that has the wildcard entry for the source as destination. So I hope that is clear. Or one more thing I want to tell you, project name in ArgoCD is not namespace. A lot of people get confused that, okay, project name is the namespace. No, namespace is a Kubernetes native API, which takes care of all the Kubernetes based resources. When talks about the project, it is project is specifically on the ArgoCD side, logically defining which source URL you can access and which destination you can map it when you select the project name. So it is a logical division for the application CRDs, and it is not similar, like it's a not replacement or any similarity with the namespace. Yeah, it looks similar in the terms of definition, that logical division, but other than that, nothing is matching. Like in the project, I cannot go and define the resource quota, controlling the resources and all this thing is not possible. Okay. Thank you everyone. Thanks for attending this session. Next session, we will be discussing in detail about the application CRD only.